Calling you a radical. First and foremost, breaking news: Charles Lieber has been found guilty on all 6 counts. So we'll see on Maxwell. The jury's out. Liz Holmes. My apologies to Liz Smart too. That was a Freudian slip when I confused the two opposites, night and day. I mean, truly opposites. So Liz Holmes' trial's out. Jury's out. Oh, they better find her guilty. Maxwell, whoa. They'll find her guilty, no matter what the sentencing, I think, will be. So, want to talk some nuclearism. Nuscale from hell. They're advertising. So, Nuscale is up to their same fraud. They're using false advertising all over now. They're advertising even on 103.5, The Arrow in Utah, KSL, which blows my mind. You know, the propaganda is out of control. I want to think what they're saying these little Nuscale reactors can do are lies, number one. Only thing the NRC has approved is the exact water boiler that's always been approved. The same, so they're trying to say they're going to take the exact Mach 1, Mach 2, these water boilers are all over the United States, and they're going to make a smaller one that's portable. No, they're not. It's a fairy tale and a lie. Oh, really? Okay. Like the ones in our nuclear sub? Nuclear waste, still got waste all over. Uranium-235 to 238. Still I mean, it's a fairy tale. It's, you know, they're trying to put lipstick on a piglet. It's bullshit. So, Jackson, the Stanford professor, I want to say thank you to him. God, I love that guy. Boy, did he stand up to the machine. Finally. I mean, I wonder if they'll blackball him like Kevin Blanche got blackballed in academia. By the way, I want to say this. When I was involved at Weber State in the day when I taught there and graduated, we were way more elite than Stanford ever dreamed of being. We were the #1 school business in the United States, bar none. We used to beat Harvard. Speaking of Harvard, Charles Lieber is guilty on all 6 counts. Why is there any streaming? I mean, money laundering from the Wuhan lab back to the United States. That's the charges were. Originally, there was talk of charges of state secrets and espionage. You know, but he got charged with money laundering, lying to federal officials, bags of cash sneaking in and out of the airport. He said in court that he was basically trying to buy a Nobel Prize. It's like Idaho National Lab. A guy was running his mouth there recently all over the media saying he was going to promote the new next Einsteins. And he works in Idaho, you know, promoting nuclear. I'm like, I emailed him. I'm like, dude, are you out of your fucking mind? Einstein was a peace activist. Einstein was an anti-nuclear. You know what he said about you guys? Hell of a way to boil water. These water boilers, that's our... So Nuscale's up to their same old fraud. I just remember Nuscale was started on you have to have the grant, and then the federal funds match was, look it up, Kenwood Financial. Look it up. Didn't exist. It was a Ponzi scheme. They went to prison for it. So, irony, all 3 of these trials going at once. And you know who reported this? This is the irony of this. The only place I'm watching, I'm following along, because I've got a link to... And I developed that link that I got when I was in the 90s, when I was a Wall Street guy and I was teaching at Weber State, and we had serious ties with Harvard. And Wharton, by the way, because we were 1, 2, 3 in the business school scoring. And brilliant, incredible, who managed the endowment at Harvard, who horribly, sadly, that dude was good, man. He was down to earth. He was calm, cool, collected, and quiet. He grew their endowment steady as steady. He would roll puts underneath the high dividend stocks, which I used to do. Passed away at 67 of AML leukemia, the same disease I had. Been fighting for 10 years. Charles Lieber said, well, Harvard has to spend some of that money, and that's what I was doing, spending it. What'd you spend the cash on when you come back? He said groceries. So, it'll be interesting to see sentencing. See. It's a big story that no one's reporting. Kevin Blanche just reported it. And Nuscale from hell. What a sham. I can't believe Utah's fallen for it. $450 million. Well, it's more like $500 million now. $500 million. They've already looted floor construction from the Utah ratepayer. Comes out of your amps bill for years. I pay one. They've looted me. I was involved with getting amps through Utah legislative process. It was for wind and solar. They're stealing it for a fairy tale that'll never happen. And, you know, it's fraud. It's big time fraud. But so, Charles Lieber, guilty on all 6 counts. The jury's out on Maxwell. The jury's out on Liz Holmes. And out of the 3, Maxwell, Lieber, Liz Holmes, who do I believe is committed the most heinous crimes of the 3? Liz Holmes. Remember, I was fighting cancer then. And that whole crowd, and everybody that funded her and whatever, there were people coming into that bone marrow transplant and saying, no, that we're not going to believe the doctors. We got other blood works. There's these new Therium blood works, Walmart blood works, freaking big. They were lying on people's lives. Blood works mean everything with leukemia patients. And I want to say this, Charles Lieber, you know, the hedge fund Harvard endowment, I met him a few times. He was a fantastic guy. And he died so tragically this year. The guy was so good at what he did. He wasn't like all these Madoffs and these phonies. No, he was real, like I used to be. We knew how to protect wealth, grow wealth in a very responsible way. The guy was awesome. He was something else, and he was a good man. You know, so don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Charles Lieber, how's this? I mean, Wuhan lab, ties, cash. Found guilty on all 6 charges. Now, he wasn't charged with espionage. He wasn't charged with stealing state secrets to China. There was talk of that. He was charged with money laundering and lying to the FBI. Guilty on all 6 charges. Nuscale. And I want to say this at Weber State to the incredible Rashid. You know, which it ties to Weber State. Ford Construction is Weber State. As I've reported, last year he would get his 4th All-American, his first 4th All-American in history. You know, Scott Shields, the great Trevon Smith, who was beat to death in a jail cell. That Weber State won't mention his name, like Fama K. Brody, or like Kevin Blanche, blackballed. Charles Lieber guilty on all 6 counts. I imagine the jury will be making a decision because they went home on Liz Holmes soon. They'll find her guilty, I think. And same with Maxwell. Sentencing. That'll be different. My guess is Liz Holmes will get a slap on the hands. And she'll go to some patty cake like Martha Stewart did. She'll come out and she'll be on The View and she'll apologize and she'll probably get her own show. You know, there's 2 sets of rules. You know, and by the way, Liz Holmes' mother is Christina Holmes IV. Sound familiar, that name? You remember that name? Speaking of all this fraud thing. Remember Enron? They went after the CFO and they went over. You know, she was the Enron queen. Did you know that is Elizabeth Holmes' mother? All in the family! All in the family! Nuscale's fraud. Thank you to the professor at Stanford. God. Edward Teller's got to be so pissed at you right now. He come out and says we need absolutely 0 nuclear. Taxonomy in Europe's going to, no. So the whole Nuscale ferry, all I think that Nuscale's deals is building a future for, I think Nuscale will be the future Charles Lieber's. I think there'll be trials. I will testify, Your Honor. I've been on it from day 1, long before everybody knew what Nuscale was. Kevin Blanche doing all the dirty work. Charles Lieber guilty on all 6 charges. Stay tuned.